here we are again. It's next year, 2019. No, just kidding. Kind of looked like it there for a second though, didn't it? Actually, the first snowfall of the season is happening right now, as it just so happens. But we are actually a few days later now. Wouldn't say a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but definitely a lot more time spent making this thing happen. So we did get all of our trees in the ground. It took us quite a bit longer than we thought, but the deed is done, and I'd like to show you where we're at. And as I enjoy the first snowfall of fall 2018. So first I'll give you a look at the whole thing. The Hugel mounds are still uncovered. There's a lot of stuff blowing around, so I want to try and cover those. They're drying up a bit, but whenever the snow comes, that should help everything along. Back to the trees. So again, just for documentation purposes, we have Southworth pear. So how we made the order here is pear, apple, apple, pear, apple, apple. And as it just so happens, we didn't end up putting our Korean pine over there behind the cedar because, well, there's a number of reasons. It takes obviously a really long time for it to start getting big, but when it does mature, it just explodes apparently and grows huge. So I thought this is not the best place for it, and also it likes partial shade, so there's just not enough shade here, I think, for it. And it prefers acidic soil. I think it grows well in pretty much any soil from what I understand. But anyway, all that to say that Mr. Cedar here, I think I've decided will be in our way, and unfortunately we'll have to go. But we're of course going to use every last little bit of it. I've been drying and storing these leaves, and of course that wood is used for so many things. There's a big stump in the way, but we'll work around it or through it, or if I have to grind it down I will. But we'll find ways. There's all kinds of ways if I have to use salt, but this is going to get leveled, and on this side of the path I'm going to do a line of rocks, since we have lots of nice rocks to line this path with, and it'll raise it up a little bit so that I can actually do a raised bed garden here on this side. And on this side of the raised bed will be a series of logs upright in a standing position, and that'll make the other side of our raised bed. So all along this path will be kind of an orchard on the left side and raised bed on the other. Anyway, back to the trees. So that was the Southworth pear, first part of our pattern here. And next we have the Lautz apple. I also did some midnight gardening the other day in the moonlight, which was an awesome experience. I planted garlic bulbs in here, a whole bunch of different kinds of garlic, and something else as well. I can't remember now. I think some onions or something else, but it evades me. I'll let you know when I think of it. There's one of the garlics actually right now. It's actually growing. That one was in a pot. So what do we have next here? An apple, obviously. It is the wealthy apple. As I'm cruising down the line here, I'll also mention that I'm so addicted to this stuff, this permaculture, this growing, this orchard and fruit tree planting. The whole thing just is enchanting to me. Something I've been wanting to do for myself and my family for a long, long time. Now that we have our own place here, the dream is coming true, and I couldn't be more motivated and excited about it. Here comes more snow, and on that note, I have more trees coming. Basically, we're going to double our little collection here. Well, in fact, I only got 2 more apple trees, which I'll discuss here in a second, and another pear. And also, I got more Korean pines. Also got some more hazelberts. Hazelberts are not self-pollinating, so having one of those was kind of pointless. So figured, why not just order 3 more instead of just 1? That's what I did. So we're going to have 4 of those, 4 Korean pines, and the rest are fruit trees. We're going to have in total 3 pears, 6 apples, and 8 nuts. Of those nuts, 4 Korean pines and 4 hazelberts. And we're going to keep building on that every year. I'll probably put in an order every year. I was so thrilled with my hardy fruit tree experience that I just want to share with all of you how awesome they are and really professional. And I'm looking forward to getting my next order. So wealthy apple, doing well. They're all appear to be okay, although it's very difficult to tell. I hope they stayed in a dormant state. What's next? Here's another pear. It's the Savignac pear. As you'll notice, some of these are planted behind the hugel mounds. That one over there on the end is planted outside of the mound completely. This one here, because there was a huge root, actually no, I think it was the second one, had a massive root on the front of it from one of these trees. I didn't want to hack through it because it was so big that we just planted on the back instead. This one ended up on the front. That doesn't really matter. This one ended up right in the hugel mound. Of course, there's no wood there underneath. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen the other episodes, I left a gap here where all the trees are, where there's no wood underneath, so they can grow straight into the ground in between the hugel mound segments, if you will. We're completely experimenting, and it's our first time, so hope for the best. Next we have another apple, Cont'd apple. Tried our best to set up a well for all these, whether they were in front, behind, or within the hugel mounds. They all have wells, and they were all planted carefully with lots of compost and mycorrhiza solution and bone meal. So we'll see. There's a Rouville apple. Here we're going to continue our pattern, so it's going to go pear, apple, apple again. And this actually is going to be one of our pollinators. This is going to be the name evades me, but it's I believe a Russian pear, something like that. It's got a terrible taste to it. It's not poisonous or anything. You can eat it. It just tastes really bad, but it's an excellent pollinator. From what I understand, you can also use them to make really good rootstocks. So that's what I'm hoping eventually down the road we'll be able to use that one for. Of course, pollinators really are never a bad thing. And here will be our last two apples, which is a Sweet 16 and a Trust apple, because you can't go wrong with either one of those. So that is our little walkway orchard. And over here, I came along with the rest of the garlic bulbs that I had, and also we had these apples from a crab apple tree. I've never planted actual apples just straight in the ground, and wanted to see what would happen. So every so often here I took 2 or 3 apples and stuck them in the ground, and we'll see what happens. There's probably maybe 5 or 6 patches of them here. So it's one of those experimental things. Oh yeah, I should show you the Korean pine as well. And of course the hazelbird. What am I thinking? Compost pile overloaded, spilling over with excellent carbon material. Here we have the Korean pine, number 1. Got itself a little well here. I don't think you need to stake these. It didn't come with any tree protectors, or they don't really recommend to stake them, but I wanted to make a little enclosure for it so that it wouldn't get chewed on by any animal passers-by. But it does have a bamboo stake there, just so we know where it is. And then just so nobody steps on it, I made a little cage here for it. And we're going to put some burlap over top of this to protect it over the winter. Probably do that for as many of these trees and things as we can. Those staked trees probably don't need it. They're good and secure. But here's our hazelbird. This one will probably get burlapped. Again, I don't think you need to tie these off or stake them, but we wanted to encourage it to grow up. It might be a little too vertical, actually. They're supposed to be bushy. These things grow up to like 12 feet, I think. And the fact that you can plant 2 in a hole, I'm not going to do that, but that tells me that you can have them close together. So this whole section is going to probably have another one here, and then another 2 over here, probably on either side of these fire bushes. So one here, one there. We'll just let them go. So that is pretty much it for now, my friends. It's a lot of work. It is, but it's a lot of work up front, and it's a lot of chilling after, and reaping the benefits, you know, as long as you keep up with it and maintain it, from what I understand. Again, this is all new to us, but we're learning quickly, and we're really giving it our best. We're giving these trees the best possible chance that they can get, you know, right from the beginning, with all the compost and all the right techniques. As far as we knew, we did our research, and you know, the bone meal, and took people's advice who've been there and done it before. And I think that's really what you got to do, and roll with it after. So that's what we're gonna do. But I'll catch you guys back up whenever we get our order next week, and we're gonna put in some more trees. So that'll fill up the rest of our line here. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put the Korean pines, but they would love it in the cedar grove here. And if they don't mind acidic soil, this is the perfect place for the pines. And I've already figured it out for the hazelberts can be part of our little patch here. Korean pines and hazelberts incoming, as well as the rest of our fruit trees. So thanks for tuning in, my friends. I hope that your season is going well. Happy Halloween if I don't make another video before then. Happy harvest as well, since it is the fall harvest time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.